Let's go down to Jerome's. A beautiful day for some Q&A. Thank you, everyone who submitted questions. First up, Grids. How do you feel about trading Hockenson and some picks to the Jets for Sauce? Yes. And I got love for TJ Hockenson, man, but being real about what's going on at the tight end position, Josh Oliver in a contract year, the Vikings potentially meeting with some tight ends in this draft class. They just met with the Nebraska kid at his pro day. And with Hockenson, I know the ACL, I know Dirty Kirby Joseph, but he's got to prove it this year. And the Jets, if they want to start over at the position, Aaron Glenn was in Detroit when Hockenson was there, and also is very familiar with him in the NFC North. So, I don't know. But also, I don't see the Jets trading Sauce Gardner. I just don't really see it. You know, Aaron Glenn coming in, he's a former corner himself. He's like, one of the best man cover corners, true blue traveling cornerback one, belt buckle to belt buckle against wide receiver ones. Yeah, get rid of him. But I think Gardner is such a special talent that the Vikings should and could entertain it. Like, I would give up Hockenson a first and probably a little bit of change. Yeah, but probably not more than that. If the Jets go for it, great. If not, I mean, best of luck to you. Sort of situation. And again, this is not me giving up on Hockenson, but I mean, it's Sauce Gardner. I mean, a true blue island cornerback one in this defense with Murph. I mean, come on, son. Next, what makes Rob Thug Life Brzezinski the best in the biz? So obviously, I think what's great about Brzezinski is that they look forward like 3, 4, 5 years down the line, right? Making sure that there isn't balloon payments, there isn't a spot where they paint themselves into a corner down the line. Now, I do feel like some teams paint themselves into a corner, just like, let's get into the season and we'll worry about next year, and they're just banking on the cap going up and up and up. So they needed to, as opposed to it being a luxury. And I think the Vikings are very smart about when they take a dead cap. You know, last year taking on the Kurt Daniil and Marcus Davenport void year dead cap hits, and in terms of structuring cash flow, I think they're very good because the Vikings had that amazing free agent class last offseason with only about $39 million in cap space. Also, I think they're good about rewarding their players in-house. Yeah, maybe not as early as Howie Roseman and the Eagles, but in a relatively quick manner. So you look at Jefferson, you look at Darisaw, etc., where it isn't all drawn out, and then you pay absolute premiums like the Bengals just did with Jamar Chase and with T. Higgins, and what the Cowboys did with Dak, as well as CeeDee Lamb, and probably what they're going to do with Micah Parsons. But Brzezinski is very good at keeping the books in good health, and he's done it with Kwesi, he's done it with Rick Spielman, and he'll continue to do it. I think that he's very, very good at what he does. Next, Wesley White. How do you not put pressure on JJ McCarthy with him knowing it doesn't happen in the 3 to 4 window rookie contract, that this all-in rebuild was a failure? So I think you don't have to worry about putting pressure on JJ McCarthy because mentally he'll do that himself. Like, this is not a laissez-faire Mark Sanchez, with the Jets, when they're making back-to-back AFC title games. He's on the sideline eating a hot dog. No, JJ McCarthy's got the fire in the gut. He's one of those guys, and he understands, like, hey, I'm on my rookie deal. My cap hit this year is $5 million. We have a chance to build an Avengers type team, and the pressure's on me. And he looks at all of the weapons, all of the interior offensive line, the new revamped running game, the defense with Flores in year 3, the coaching with Kevin O'Connell, and the fact that the Vikings won 14 games last year with Sam Darnold. Like, he's going to internalize all that and put the pressure on himself. So I don't think that the Vikings fans have to saddle him with unrealistic expectations because he's got them himself. And that's something blue, because just his mentality about things is what sets him apart. And I don't think that's appreciated enough. I think that between the ears, he's an elite talent. And I think that everything else will work itself out. Next, Keb K. Skoll. Awesome job, Andy, for the win. Thank you. What do you think of Asante Samuel Jr. at cornerback? He'd be a great post-June 1st signing. If the Vikings don't draft a stud corner in 24, heard the idea yesterday, and I really like it. Thanks to Skoll. So you'll see this year after year where there'll be some big-name free agents that just hang out there. The first couple waves of free agency are gone. A lot of the money spent up, and then teams will wait until the draft and or the compensatory pick window closes after the draft. I think that's what the Vikings potentially could be doing with Asante Samuel or other teams. So, the Vikings Obviously could use some more depth at corner. And Asante, I feel like part of it is name recognition, because his pops was such a great player. But Asante, is he an elite tier 1 corner? No. Is he a very good tier 2, tier 3 corner? Yeah. And I think that he could bring depth there. There's some concern about durability as well. But I think that if the Vikings don't add a corner in the draft, they could revisit revisit Asante Samuel. Plus, I think it'll be at a discount because when you have teams filling out their roosters, then all of a sudden a lot of money is spent in free agency. Like he may not get double digits like he's projected to get. So we'll see. Lastly, Isaac Ackley, OG Jerome. What are your thoughts on Xavier Restrepo's 4.8 40? And do you think he can still play in the NFL? Thanks for all the great content. Keep it up. Yes, I absolutely do. So Restrepo, he's not making excuses, but he did point out that was dealing with a bit of a hamstring. Plus, you could just tell like that get off was not great. Right, and with Restrepo, first off, he's not like a straight line speed demon in the first place. That shows on tape. But what he is the slot machine who's very adept at finding dead spaces in the defense. He's a quarterback's best friend. I mean, his back-to-back production over the last 2 years, 2 different quarterbacks. Last year with Cam Ward, it's amazing. So last year 69, nice, 1,127 yards, 11 touchdowns as well. And yeah, his speed, I mean, his time 40 at his pro day could cause him to fall. That's perfectly fine. I that if Restrepo ends up being 4th, 5th round pick, I think that's going to be insane value, and I think that he would bring a lot to the table, both to any team in the NFL and especially to the Vikings, because even though you would have more and more in Restrepo, just really jamming up the slot. I mean, they're 2 completely different slot receivers, and I think that Restrepo is going to be a very good professional. And this whole offseason draft process, it did not go great for him. It would have been awesome if he turned in like a 4 or 5, because I think that would have checked the boxes, and I think that he would have solidified himself as a day 2 selection, but he didn't. But I think teams are smart enough to know, if the tape is the tape is the tape, and sometimes there's circumstances, sometimes there's injuries, sometimes there's whatever. When you got 1 shot or 2 shots to run a 40, but Restrepo is going to be good. I believe that. All right. Anyways, that's it. Q&A for this beautiful day. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skol, production value.